Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Journey to Fit. I do want to take a moment to apologize for the delay on this video. As most of you are aware, we've been having some major technical issues with our computer first and then our camera. And so all kinds of things have just been crazy, but now we got the computer fixed, we've got a camera, we are good to go. Today what I want to do is kind of go over a glimpse of my past, starting from when I was younger all the way up to present, where I've been with my fitness, all the stages of my life, to kind of show you guys where I've been, where I'm coming from, and where I'm at now, and kind of give you an idea of why I want to get back to where I was and kind of see the transition through my life of the fluctuation of my weight and everything, just to kind of give you guys an idea of where I've come from. Throughout the video there's going to be some pictures that are up in this area. Just a disclaimer, they're not really in chronological order, or they don't really have a whole lot to do with exactly what stage I'm talking about, but just to kind of give you some pictures of the past and what I looked like before. So growing up, I always struggled with my weight. It was always a struggle that I had. I loved food, and if you ask my parents, I ate way too much of it. I was always one of the biggest kids. I was always very athletic though. It was kind of strange. I was a big boy, but I always was one of the most athletic kids out of my friends. I played sports, a lot of sports. I could run fairly fast and keep up with everybody else. So it wasn't a lack of physical fitness, it was just the fact that I was just overweight. So going into 8th grade, I was just done with being overweight. I was quickly approaching high school, and I didn't want to be this overweight, chubby kid for the rest of my life. So I decided to take steps to fix that. So what I did was I actually went on the Atkins diet, which is, most of you know, it's like a cutting carbs kind of diet. I did that diet for really strictly in 8th grade, and I actually lost about 45 pounds. I went from about 210 down to 165. That year I also started wrestling. So I did, like I said, I played sports. I played some flag football, I played soccer, I played hockey. I did a lot of different stuff younger. But at this point I joined my middle school wrestling team, which I was fairly surprised at how good of shape that wrestling gets you in. Also, that summer was the summer that I really started hitting the weights. I knew I was going to play football in high school. I had never played tackle football before, but I was really excited because of my size. Naturally, I'm a big guy, and I knew that football would be a fun way to be able to throw my weight around and hit people and whatever. So I was always really excited to play football. So over the summer before freshman year, I hit the weight room almost every day that I could get in there. They did a summer weightlifting program for our football program, and so it was an open gym, basically 5 nights a week, Monday through Friday. I got to work out with guys that have already been through, learning how to lift weights, and they were big and strong, and so I think that really helped me in pushing myself to get to where I eventually got to. This was the year that I really bulked up between freshman and sophomore year. I was very thin as far as body fat percentage, and I was packing on the weight with muscle. And so by the end of my freshman year, going into sophomore year, I was about 215 pounds, pretty much solid muscle. So I gained about 40 to 50 pounds in muscle. And so you can kind of get an idea of, dang, this guy was big. So much so that even my high school did some random drug tests on me. I actually got 3 random drug tests my freshman year. I'm pretty sure because I thought I was on some type of steroids or something, but I wasn't. I just really worked hard, and there weren't many other guys around me that were working as hard as I was in the weight room. And so really it paid off. I got very strong. There's probably a couple pictures in here that you'll see that I was really, really confident in myself, and I ended up by my sophomore year making the 1,000-pound club in football, which is basically bench, squat, and power clean, combined being over 1,000 pounds for my max. And so very early on, I was one of the youngest guys to ever make the 1,000-pound club. And then as it got, toward the end of my sophomore year, I became basically the strongest guy on the football team. And so that was something that I took pride in, and it was very rewarding for me to be at the peak of my physical fitness at that point. Once I got to my junior year, things changed a little bit. The beginning of the year, in the first game of the season for the football season, I actually tore my labrum in my left shoulder, and so I had some setbacks with my fitness. I did finish the season. It was kind of misdiagnosed at first, so I missed only about 5 games of the season, and then I finished out. But at the end of the season, the very last game in the playoffs where we lost, I tore it more. I dislocated my shoulder in the game. And so at that point, the football season was over, so I figured, you know, I'll be fine. Just kind of, you know, let it go and we'll see what happens. A couple weeks later, like a month later, I went on a snowboarding trip with my youth group, and I basically, you know, took a hard spill and I landed on my shoulder and completely dislocated my shoulder again. And that was the one that did it in. So what we ended up doing was going back to a different doctor. He diagnosed that I needed surgery on my shoulder, and I'm not going to go into the details, it would be too long. But to make a long story short, once they got in there to do the surgery, they found out that the tear was a lot worse than they thought it was. They ended up doing the repair and surgery, and from there on, there was a 6-month period where I couldn't do any weight bearing, so I couldn't even do a push-up. I couldn't do any throwing. I couldn't lift my arm above my head. There was just a lot of limitations that I had, which really set me back in my fitness. And so at that point, I was really discouraged because I had gained some fat, obviously, I gained some weight, and I had lost some of my physical fitness. I had lost some of the muscle that I had worked so hard for. And so going into the summer before my senior year, I was pretty discouraged because this was supposed to be the biggest year of my life for football, and I didn't get the full, the maximum, you know, ability to build my strength and build my skill through the whole summer into the season. So luckily, the 6-month mark ended right when we started our football season, right when we got, you know, into pads for practice. So I was able to go back to full contact, back to weight bearing, and I just hit the weight room really hard to get back to where I could, you know, I could compete with everybody else. After that, getting back into the season, I did start, you know, during that 6-month time, toward the end of it, I was able to run. I was able to do like conditioning and stuff. So I did drop back down to about 230, and that's kind of where I stayed and rode out the senior season in my senior year in high school. Was around 230 with not quite as much muscle as before, a little more fat, so the ratio was a little bit different. But that's kind of how I ended my high school, was around 230. Still, you know, not crazy overweight, but not where I was initially. So once I got to college, I put on my typical freshman 15 plus a little. So I was anywhere from around 235 to 245. I kind of fluctuated in that weight range for a while. I did hit the gym every so often going into college, but I was kind of so tired of being forced to work out and condition through 4 years of high school. I kind of was just like, I just want to be myself and relax and not do anything. So I did let myself go a little bit. Like I said, around 240, 245 or so, I kind of averaged. And then it kind of all went downhill from there. When I got married to Melinda, I believe that day, on our wedding day, I was around 250, which was more than I wanted to be for my wedding day. She was looking awesome. She had just lost a bunch of weight, and she looked great on our wedding day, and I just feel kind of bad that I was not where I wanted to be for our wedding day. But anyway, and so from that point, we've been married for a little over 3 years now, and I've, again, fluctuated from anywhere from, I actually got down earlier in 2015, probably the summer of 2015, I was actually all the way down to 222. That was the lowest I got to. I was doing really good. I was running the stairs at work. I was eating healthy, doing all kinds of good stuff, and I was like, yes, this is where I want to be. I was really close to getting to my goal, my goal weight, but then, you know, things just happened, and I got lazy again, and life happens, and I just kind of crept up. And so lately, as you've probably heard in the other video before, my intro video, I've gotten all the way up to 270. So that was the motivation for this channel, for this I'm just so ready to get back into where I was before. So right about now, I'm still at about 260 to 265 is where I am at currently. I'm going to start doing weigh-ins, and you're going to see the weight on the scale. I'm going to start showing you, things that I'm doing to work out, things that I'm eating. So this video was just to give you guys an idea of my past, where I've come from, and to show you that that's kind of the direction that I want to go. There is a very specific image in my head that I have of my goal, and my goal weight being 200 pounds and maybe beyond that if I get there, or if I gain a bunch of muscle again, maybe it's not 200, maybe it's 215. Whatever that looks like, it's just being physically healthy again and looking my best. So there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to join me on my journey to fit, please subscribe. And I know this video took a while to get up, but we'll start getting videos up more often. So we just so much appreciate you guys. And I hope if you're starting your fitness journey, I encourage you to just keep it up. Don't quit. You can do this, and something that I'm learning through my financial journey as well is, going through Dave Ramsey's program. It's just, you live like no one else now so that later you can live like no one else. And he says that financially so that you can save money and have money for your future. But even in a physical sense, it makes so much sense, because if you live like no one else now, if you sacrifice and you work out, you eat healthy, and you just live a very healthy lifestyle now, you're going to have many years ahead to live when other people might be struggling with health issues and heart attacks and all the diabetes and all the kind of stuff that America is prone to now. If you live like no one else now, later you're going to get to live and live happily and enjoy time with your family and your friends and go on adventures and not have to struggle with all that. So that's my goal, and if that's your goal too, please join me. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a blessed day.